Join me as I dive into some of the most baffling cases that have left puzzle-solving detectives stunned. Can I crack the code and solve them too? There's something fascinating about a good mystery, don't you think? The thrill of the chase, the puzzle that needs to be solved, the intrigue that surrounds it all. And today, we're going to dive into some of the most baffling cases that have left even the most seasoned detectives scratching their heads. One case that still has many people stumped is the infamous Zodiac Killer. This serial killer terrorized the people of Northern California in the late 1960s and early 1970s, sending cryptic letters and codes to the police and newspapers. Despite numerous investigations and tips, the killer was never caught, and the codes remain unbroken to this day. Then there's the case of the Mary Celeste, a ship found adrift in 1872 with no signs of foul play or natural disaster, but all crew members mysteriously vanished. What could have caused them to abandon ship in such a hurry? Another intriguing case is that of the Black Dahlia, a young woman found brutally murdered in Los Angeles in 1947. The crime scene was gruesome, with the body mutilated and posed in a dramatic fashion. But despite a thorough investigation, no one was ever charged with the crime. And finally, there's the case of the D.B. Cooper hijacking, where a man hijacked a plane in 1971 and then vanished into thin air after parachuting out with a ransom. Despite an extensive manhunt, he was never caught or identified. Let's start with the Zodiac Killer case. The cryptic letters and codes sent by the killer have been studied by experts for decades, but none have been able to crack the code. One theory is that the killer was a maths teacher using his knowledge of cryptography to create the codes. Another theory suggests that the killer was trying to send a message, but it's one that we'll never understand. In the case of the Mary Celeste, investigators have proposed everything from mutiny to sea monsters to explain the disappearance of the crew. But with no signs of struggle or natural disaster, it's a mystery that may never be fully solved. The Black Dahlia case is still shrouded in mystery, with many theories surrounding the identity of the killer. One suspect was a doctor who had a troubled past, but there was never enough evidence to charge him. And in the D.B. Cooper case, despite a thorough investigation, not a single shred of evidence was found that could identify the hijacker. As we delve deeper into each case, we start to see some common threads. In the Zodiac Killer case, the cryptic letters and codes may have been a ploy to distract from the real clues. In the Mary Celeste case, the lack of evidence may be due to a clever plot to cover up the truth. The Black Dahlia case is full of red herrings and misleading clues, making it difficult to pinpoint the killer. And in the D.B. Cooper case, the lack of physical evidence may have been due to the hijacker's meticulous planning. In each case, the detectives were stumped by the lack of concrete evidence, leading to wild theories and speculation. But then, something changed in one of the cases. A surprising twist emerged that changed the direction of the investigation. In the Black Dahlia case, a new suspect emerged many years after the crime, one who had been overlooked by the original investigators. This new suspect had a history of violence and a troubled past, and many believe that they may have finally caught the killer. But even with this new information, the case remains officially unsolved. The new evidence opened up a whole new avenue of investigation, but it's one that may never lead to a conviction. In conclusion, these baffling cases are a reminder of the complexity and intrigue of detective work. They challenge our perceptions and force us to think outside the box. And as we explore these cases, we're reminded that even the most seasoned detectives can be stumped by the cleverest of criminals. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the world of baffling cases. If you have any thoughts on these cases, be sure to leave them in the comments below. And if you're ready to dive into more mysteries, be sure to check out our next video on unsolved crimes.